everybody, today we are going to be talking about how to pick the right variation to do, whether for an audition DVD, or a ballet competition. A lot of you have written to me saying, I don't know what to pick, there's so many, and how do I know what's good for me? So I'm going to help you with that today. Number one thing to remember is play to your strengths. Sit down and figure out, all right, in class, what do you do best? Do you do adagio best? Do you jump the best, turns, etc.? You want to play to your strengths because anytime you do these variations, you're either auditioning for something or you're, competing for a prize, you want to look your absolute best. So if you are not a turner, it might not be the best idea to do the odalisque variation from La Corsaire with all the triple pirouettes. You know what I mean? Or if you're not a jumper, I wouldn't do something really light and jumpy with a lot of brises, anything like that. So play to your strengths. Are you an adagio dancer? White Swan might be really nice, or one of the Paquitas might be really nice. If you are a turner, the odalisque, Black Swan, show your strengths. It's kind of a little bit self-explanatory, but oftentimes dancers don't think about that. You as a dancer sometimes think, I have to do a certain one. They're going to expect me to do something really hard, or they're going to expect me to do something, You don't, The lists for ballet competitions, on there, there's such a wide range. There's not one that's better than the other. I just encourage you to play to your strengths because you don't want to be out there in an audition or in a ballet competition when the pressure is high, your nerves kick in, and you fall out of every turn because you're trying to do turns and you're not a turner. You know what I mean? So pick one that plays to your strengths. All right, second thing, get a little creative. On those lists that ballet competitions give you, you may do this one and this one and this one, and all auroras are allowed, and all Kathrys are allowed, and you kind of go through the whole gauntlet. You get a long list. Don't do ones that everybody does, For example, with Don Q, I believe it says all Don Q variations are allowed. All right, don't do third act wedding panorama with the fan. Everybody does that one. Do the second act, the dream act. If you're a big turner, do the first act in the skirt, and all the pirouettes and the pirouettes from fifth in the diagonal, or do the dryad queen. Kind of get a little creative. Same thing with Sleeping Beauty. Do you have to do Aurora's third act wedding? Why don't you do the vision scene or the act one? Sometimes act one is not allowed for certain age groups, but the vision scene is. That's a beautiful variation, especially if you're more a lyrical dancer. That's probably what I would have picked as a young dance student. I probably wouldn't have done anything too flashy or too kind of turny, jumpy, technical. I would have picked something more lyrical, something a little bit more feminine, because that's my style. And I would have excelled in that under pressure. So get a little creative, maybe do ones you've never heard of before. Like there's one on the list for Grand Prix that's like Talisman or Pharaoh's Daughter. These ballets that you might not have heard of, YouTube them. If I were in your position, I would sit down with the list, if you have a list, and YouTube all these different variations and kind of, do your research and figure out, ooh, I really like to do that one. Ooh, I've never seen that one before. Maybe I should do that one, because again, speaking from a position of somebody who's judged things and been on the other side of the table, I get excited when I see something new. I get excited when, ooh, yes, Aurora's vision and not the wedding, because everybody does Kathryn, everybody does wedding, everybody does Black Swan, So try and get a little creative, and that will automatically make the auditioners or the judges more excited about you. Third tip, after you've chosen a variation, try and stick to the original choreography. Not the choreography somebody has changed for Grand Prix, or somebody's changed for whatever. You want to do the actual choreography, because let me tell you, all those judges sitting there or all the auditioners sitting there, they know the original choreography. And if somebody has put fouettes in Aurora's wedding variation, probably not a good idea, So you want to do ones that show off your style, but keep the original choreography. Don't change it, because then that looks like you just picked the music and you wanted to wear that pretty costume and you're making it up as you go along. Really stick to the original choreography. And that goes back to picking something that's your style. Like I said, don't add turns and fouettes to anything from Aurora. It's just not It's not in there, you know? So really stick to the original choreography. And the way to do that, again, is to Google companies doing these variations and not some other girl who's put herself on YouTube from Grand Prix. You know, you want to see the original, not watered down version of these things. So really go to the source, you know. Google Royal Ballet Sleeping Beauty and you will see a crystal clear version of these variations. And that's what they're going to be looking for. They're not going to be looking to see how you can change it to suit yourself. They want to see you do the actual choreography. Finally, in kind of keeping with the first thing, to play to your strengths, play to your personality. Are you fiery? Are you sassy? I wouldn't try and do White Swan. You know, I would do Kathryn or Paquita or, you know, something. Or are you a little more shy and gentle? I would do Giselle, Aurora. You know, play to not only your strengths as a dancer, but to your personality, because that's also what you're showing to these people. Because remember, as I said in the How to Stand Out in the Ballet Competitions video, it's not about the competition itself. It's about you getting seen to get a scholarship to a school, to get a position in the company. You are doing these to further your career. You're not doing these just to win a prize. Because let's say you win a prize, great, okay, now what? You want to be a professional, right? So you want to show these people who you are as a dancer, as a person, and say, look, you can cast me in this role in your company. That's why you do these competitions. That's why you do variations on audition DVDs. It's not just to show your technique strengths, it's to show who you are and the kind of rep that you would be good in. Having said that, if you're in a situation where you can pick two variations, make them totally opposite. I would do one that shows the fun side of you and the sassy side of you, and one that shows the pretty side. You don't want to have two identical variations. You want to show variety. You want to show them, look, you can put me in anything. You know, don't pick two Auroras, don't pick Aurora and a White Swan, you know, pick Aurora and a Black Swan. Again, thinking about your strengths, you can pick different kinds of variations even if you're not a turner. You know, I'm not saying pick one with turns and one without turns. The style, the feeling, the personality. Pick two different ones. If you're in a competition where you're doing two, or you want to include two on an audition DVD, make sure they are very different to, again, show this person or this school or this company, look, you can put me in anything. So I hope that kind of helped you guys. This is going to take a little bit of research. It's going to take a little effort on your part. You know, do your research, get creative, play to your strengths. Don't change the choreography. Please don't change the choreography. And just remember, this is not about right now. This is about showing these people who you are as a dancer, who you are as a person, and that you could be in that company, you can be doing that role on the stage. That's how you want to go about this. Yeah? I really hope that helped you guys. I know it's a tricky thing to kind of do, but just pick ones that really suit you. You know, show a little bit of variety, but at the same time, just be yourself. If you missed my video on balancing basics, hands and arms, we will be doing much more of those. It's right there. You can click it to watch. Love you all so, so much. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on Friday.